Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will talk about how to write a motivation letter for a PhD position. Basically, a motivation letter. This is after CV. This is second most important document, which plays a crucial role in your selection for the next round, which is PhD interview. So, writing a impactful and effective motivation letter helps you a lot in your PhD hunting. So in this video, I will try to cover different points and which are very important when you write a motivation, and you should keep that in mind. I will explain the do's and don'ts of writing a motivation letter, and at the end, I will show you a PhD position ad, and after we will write a motivation letter according to that ad, that how you should write that, so you can have an idea that what should be included in your motivation letter and what should not be. So let's start this video. So here's a difference between motivation letter and cover letter. Most of the times, students confuse this thing that cover letter and motivation letter can be used interchangeably, but this isn't a case. Cover letter is basically an introductory letter, and the motivation letter, it shows that how you can be an asset to the institute or organization in which you are applying. And cover letter is basically a letter in which you explain the content already written on your CV and resume. For example, you explain that I did my bachelor in this year, my master in this year, then I did internship in this year, here and there, just like that. While in motivation letter, you talk about your motivation, your inspiration, your the reason that why you applying to that organization, the university, that institute, and what are the skills that you have, the knowledge relevant to the position you are applying for. So this is a different letter from your cover letter. So, a cover letter is basically required by companies and recruiters, but the motivation letter is basically a requirement of educational institutes, and you are also required to submit it for university admission. Like when you are hunting a PhD, then you need this letter. Cover letter is basically a short letter. You can say a half a page, and as compared to this, motivation letter is a bit long. It can be one page and it can be two pages. So it depends. You will get to know about that. What should be the length of your motivation letter? When you see PhD position ad, they will instruct you that how much length or how much length of a motivation letter they need. So you don't need to exceed the required limit. That's also a very important thing. So here are the do's and don'ts. First of all, we will talk about the do's, that what you should include in your motivation letter. We have already made a detailed video for writing a motivation letter for master's program. In master, you write a motivation letter almost two page long. But in PhD, you don't need that much information and that much length. It's basically a different requirement in PhD. For PhD, keep your motivation letter precise and informative. This is very important. That don't overwrite in your motivation letter, because sometimes this may cost you a lot. This may make your motivation letter boring, and this won't be a document worth reading. So you should and here are the three most important things that the next three bullet points. In the next three bullet points, I have mentioned these three things. First is try to relate your academic knowledge and skills from work experience with the call, with the program, with the institute, with the research you are applying for. So also write the importance of your research in the bigger context. So what does that exactly mean? Basically, when you're writing a motivation letter, you should not try to explain the things that are not relevant to the call, the position you're applying for. You should, if they are requiring that you should be proficient in a technique, for example, ELISA, then you should explain that I did this internship in this year at this place, and I acquired different skills when I was using ELISA, and I know that how to use this and what it takes to conclude your findings and all that. So you need to be very specific about the technique they are requiring and they are looking for. So just try to, and academic knowledge. If they are looking for a candidate with a background in molecular biology, then you should explain your expertise in this field, your knowledge, your skills, your whatever you achieved in your past. Just explain those things. So this way your motivation letter would be precise and it would be informative. It would be like worth reading, and your reader will actually enjoy that whatever you have written in your motivation letter, and that will leave a big impact. And also, you should write the importance of your motivation in bigger context. Like show them that how your research that you have done and you're planning to do can help the society. For example, your field, if you are in agriculture, then how it can help the agriculture sector in a bigger picture, like how your plant or whatever you're working on can help the agriculture sector to advance. Just show them in a one or two lines, maybe three lines. That totally depends on how much information you have in your hand. Then comes what inspired you to apply for it. This is very important. This is also very important. In this, you write about your motivation. This is also a main thing, that what inspired you. For example, if there is something relevant, like they are looking for a candidate very proficient in molecular biology techniques, for example, they need a candidate best in cloning, then you can say that when I saw that this position, this PhD position requires a candidate with the strong with strong background in this technique. So I decided to apply for it because I feel like I could be the best candidate for it, as I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of experience on this thing, and I can do it best. And you can explain a little bit about it. So that also depends on how much information and how much experience you have in that particular thing. Then demonstrate your passion for research work, teaching, learning new things. As they consider PhD position, PhD in Europe and in other continents, they consider PhD a job. So they will require you to be involved in teaching as well, and they want a candidate, a self motivated candidate. So you need to demonstrate your passion. Like this should be natural. You should not make stories, and you should not this should be totally natural, that how you are what is your passion for research work, and how you are planning to be involved in teaching, and show them that you are very passionate about learning new things. Also, you have a strong hand on those techniques, but you are very much motivated to learn more about that, because knowledge can never be enough. So there is always a way to learn new and different things. So you are open to it. So here are the don'ts of a motivation letter. In this slide, I will tell you that what you should not include in your CV, in your motivation letter. So first of all, don't repeat your CV in the motivation letter. I have seen that students, what did students do repeat their CV in their motivation letter. Like they say that I did my bachelor in 2000 this, and I did my masters in this year, and then I did internship here and there. Like they almost they keep the half a page of their motivation letter just talking about their qualification, their education, and the work they did. And even though they have already explained that on their CV, so I already told you that you can explain your qualification, your CV, resume in your cover letter, but in motivation letter, you should not try to explain your CV, because your motivation letter is all about your passion, your inspiration, your interest, your skills, your knowledge. So try to write the things that you did not cover in your CV, in your resume, so that it isn't a boring document for your reader to read. So other thing is avoid writing long, rough and tough paragraphs. This also makes your motivation letter boring enough to read. When you try to write long, rough, tough paragraphs, and that that doesn't seem very captivating to read. I mean, this looks very boring enough. Don't mix all the things in one place. Don't rush things. Don't try to explain all the material, all the skills, experience in just one paragraph, in just one place. And if you're talking about your experience, you should not talk about your passion in that paragraph. Just don't mix up the things. Try to follow a sequence, and try to write things in a sequence, so that first of all, if you have talked about your passion, then you should explain the you should explain your academic knowledge and your skills from work experience relevant to the call. And then in next paragraph, you should explain what inspired you to apply, and next, you are passionate to do things in that way. So in this way, you are not mixing up all the things, all the information in just one paragraph. So, other thing is, don't exceed the required motivation letter length. This is very important. I mean, in Pakistan, we believe that we consider ourselves smart when we write things more than required. I mean, if we feel like if they are demanding one page motivation letter, then we should write one and a half or maybe two, so that they feel like we are very much motivated, and we had that much time. I mean, we did this much research to write just a motivation letter. So when you exceed the required motivation, this also shows that you didn't read the call properly. They are demanding just one page motivation letter, so don't exceed it. Don't exceed the required length. If they are saying that they need a 5 to 600 words motivation letter, you should write in that limit. Don't exceed the limit. If they are saying that they need 2000 characters motivation letter, then you should keep your motivation letter length in that boundary, so that you are not exceeding the length, because they are not very much free to write a lot of motivation letter, because you would not be the one who is applying for the position. There are others in the line as well, and they are reading the motivation letter of many students in this can be a laborious task for them as well. Don't write in an informal way. Pay great attention to your word selection. This is also very important. Don't try to be emotional when you are writing your motivation letter. Don't use abbreviation. Don't use other other words, offensive words, and because they are not judging you or based on your emotional stories and all that. They need a self motivated candidate who has a relevant background and skills, experience, and who is open to learn new things, and who can accommodate new working environment and all that. So this is very important. You should explain that in a very professional way. Don't try to be emotional, and don't talk in informal way or using the words certain words which are not required in motivation letter. So here I have added PhD position ad, and in this is in this ad they are saying that they need 10 doctoral candidates for plant proteomics, bioinformatics, and biology. Like they have already mentioned that there are three fields and looking candidates in these fields. So here I just copied few things in a Word doc and I took a screenshot and I added that in my slides. So just to give you an idea that how to write a motivation letter according to this PhD position ad. So first of all, I will skim through the paragraphs. I won't be reading whole documents. You can pause the video here and you can read that thoroughly, and then you can decide that what you should write in what should you should write in your motivation letter according to this position. So, the first of all, they have introduced the opportunity to the readers, and so that the candidates who are reading this document, they can get to know that what is the requirement and what is the project. So, this opportunity explains that this will be based on plants. First of all, they have talked about plants like these are the nutritional basis of life on Earth, and protein-rich foods from plants are globally mega trend essential for sustaining and increasing human population. So this is what they have talked about, and then they said that little is known about crop proteomes, and their project is about. So that's why they have launched a visionary initiative with high socioeconomic relevance on the topic, the proteomes that feed the world. So that's the project name. You can conclude from this project name that they are looking for a candidate in this zone, the proteomes that feed the world. So what I can conclude from this introduction is that they want to make crops which are which are enriched in nutrition, and for that they will target the proteome of plants. So in this, they have three major aims. First one is to train and develop future leaders in science, industry, and society who excel in research, management, and communication, and to create a proteome atlas of the 100 most important crops for human nutrition. This is what I have talked earlier, and to perform internationally competitive crop plant research. That's something they have explained. Now you have a structure, you have a zone that in which you should write your motivation letter, and according to what you should explain things in your motivation letter. So here are the requirements. Now you should before applying. This is a very important thing also. So this is a very important thing you should also read that they must first of all they need a candidate who has a recognized MSc in life science or in bioinformatics. So life science you can also be in biotechnology, in molecular biology and all that. And the candidate must also have a good command of English language. So in that case, if you have a IELTS exam, you can also show that so that they can so that they have a proof that you are good in English language and in communication, in writing, reading, and listening, in listening skills. So, and they also need candidate who belongs to the highest potential, who belongs to the top 10% percent of an academic year, like the candidate who has a degree, with you can say high CGPA, and who is at least among top 10% students of his or her session. So these are the requirements. Now the application process is here is the application process. Applicants should send a dossier containing a motivation letter. Here they have mentioned that maximum one page, so now you have a limit, don't exceed that, okay. And a curriculum vitae, which in which you should summarize your qualification experience, and this is what they would be looking at in your curriculum vitae in your CV. And then third document, they need copies of degrees and transcripts of study records. This is a third document. And fourth, they need names and the email addresses of at least one referee, and you can also add a second referee as well, in as a single PDF. So you should combine all these documents in one PDF, and then you should send. And in the next line, they said you should send it to this email no later than 31st of March 2022. So I think that line is not coming in my video. So okay, so this is a main picture of what you should. This is a main picture. Now you should customize your motivation letter according to this. That how you need to design your motivation letter. Now you have the things. If you belong to this field, you have done your masters in molecular biology, biotechnology, bioinformatics, or biology, and then you have a relevant experience according to plant proteomics. That can be bioinformatics or biology, then you should apply. Otherwise you are wasting your time. If you are from other fields, like, and you just trying your luck here, then of course applying to irrelevant positions cost you a lot. I mean, you waste your time, and getting a rejection email is also a stress. So if you belong to this category, then you should apply for this position. So here is a motivation letter example that I wrote according to the PhD position ad I showed you in the previous slide. So this after seeing this motivation letter example, you can conclude that what I have written in this motivation letter, and how your motivation letter should look like according to the PhD position. So in the first paragraph, I explained a little bit about that. I am knowledgeable about the position, that I wrote the document, and I read the document, and that's why I didn't copy a motivation letter which I made for another position, and I am sending to that. So this isn't a case in the first paragraph. Here I am saying that I am applying to this PhD position in the proteomes FE the world at the School of Life Sciences at the Technical University of Munich, in order to carry my passion for plant biotechnology forward. So in the first paragraph, you can get to know, you can know that I have. I have made their mind that okay, I read that ad, and I'm now talking to you, the HR, or whoever is dealing this opportunity. So in the second paragraph, I just told about that I belong to plant biotechnology field. I chose plant biotechnology as my postgraduate major to obtain a biological skill set essential for ending the ultimate suffering of my people due to scarcity of food uh, in my country. So in this paragraph, they will know that okay, this candidate belongs to plant biotechnology, and this candidate is a good fit for this position. So then in the next paragraph, I have explained my research, my skills, my experience relevant to that call, that I belong to plant proteomics section and I would be a good fit for that project as well. So here I'm saying that I did my master's final year research on a project development of tolerant plants against abiotic stresses, where I explored the down regulation. Here I didn't insert the name of gene, I just explained that I explored the down regulation of XY gene that plays a significant role in abiotic stress tolerance in plants. So, upon protein localization analysis, I found that my gene was localized in the nucleus. So, this was a striking result, and this research project enabled me to have a strong grasp of various molecular biology techniques. Here, I have told that I am proficient in these molecular biology techniques, and I did proteomic work before. So this enabled me to have a strong grasp of various molecular biology techniques, including cloning, gene transformation, tissue culturing, mass spectrometry, RNA sequencing, and yeast to hybrid technique, which we use for protein-protein interaction. So, in this, I have explained a little bit about my skills relevant to their position and my previous project. And in the next paragraph, I explain why I am inspired to apply for this position. So I am fascinated by the aims of this PhD program, which are focused on the proteomes that feed the world. I see there is a huge need for nutrition enriched crop development, and I already have a strong hand in various omics, particularly proteomics technologies. So here I covered that thing that I am proficient in proteomics technologies, and this thing will help me to start confidently, this will help me to start this project confidently. So you are good to go. You don't need a push to start your research, although you will be learning new things. So I want to utilize my knowledge and learn new things down the journey. So it doesn't mean that you are very confident about whatever you have done or you gained in your past. It is explaining so here you are showing them a soft corner, like you will utilize your previous knowledge and you are keen to learn new things down the journey, so you are not being very overconfident here. So this PhD offers a platform where I would be able to gain valuable leads in plant proteomes. So here you explain, here you have already, here you again call that thing that you are very much motivated to gain valuable leads in plant proteomes. The skills here you are seeing, you're explaining how your research will fit in a bigger picture, and how it is going to help agriculture sector. So the or how you are planning to do your future research after getting skills from this one. So here you're saying the skills I would gain from this program will help me to stand as the finest researcher in plant science. In the last paragraph, I already see that the last line is not also showing in my video. So here I will just explain. Here's just half line after this line. So in the last paragraph, you're saying at this point in my career, I find myself caged by the limited facilities and funding opportunities in Pakistan. But this PhD program promises to provide a better place to start my journey. This is That's all about my motivation letter example, which is relevant to the PhD position ad I showed you in the previous slide. So this is an example of motivation letter according to that position ad. So now the main thing is, in whatever field you are, you should be very confident in that whatever you're applying for. Don't override the things, don't exaggerate things, don't be overconfident, and don't try to play emotional. Okay, these are the a few tips that you should keep in your mind, because motivation letter, I'm again saying you that motivation letter is the second most important document in in your selection for PhD interview, because that's the next round in which you will be appearing, and that's the 60% of your selection. So your selection for the final PhD position. So if you are not paying a great attention to your motivation letter, then you're just wasting your time, because making a good CV won't help you to grab that opportunity. You need to work on each and everything. Each and everything. Your motivation letter is the second most important document. After, in the next video, I will talk about how to write a PhD research proposal, because in some situations you also need that, where you're applying for PhD positions, like in Italy, in Australia, where RTP scholarships, scholarships announced yearly. So you need you need a research plan, research proposal. So, winding up my video with the note that don't try to copy this motivation letter as well, because it's already circulated in my circle, and I know people will be copying, and then when just imagine you and your friend is applying to the same position, and they will say that both students copy each other, so they won't leave a positive impact. So this can be a great trouble as well. So try to use your natural style. Try to write things in your style, your motivation. Just sit in a silent place and think about that, why you are in your field, and why you're doing the degree. You are why are you doing this degree, and what was your motivation to start this. You can add a little bit about. Because when you're talking to yourself, you think about the things that you never thought before. So this can be a good starter, that your motivation letter needs your motivation, not the other person, because one size doesn't fit all. So what is working for others can't work for you. So you should stand for yourself. You should explain your motivation letter in your style. So this thing will help you to write a effective motivation letter. And if you write your motivation letter following this sequence, explaining things in this way, and you're trying to relate your previous work to the call in this manner, then I'm 100% sure that you're going to get an email for your PhD interview, and nothing can stop you if you are very much motivated and you have invested time on your on writing your motivation letter, because you should not write it like in half an hour. Of course, it need to be written in 1 to 2 days at least, because especially when you're writing for the very first time, because you're gathering your motivation in one page. So yes, that's all about my motivation letter video. I tried to explain things in a bit detail, because I feel like this is something that nobody tells you about, and you won't see any video on internet with example like people as I have written this motivation letter according to the cause, so that you can grab the idea, the overall idea. So, if you so in the next video, I will try to talk about research proposal and how to write, and how to what should be included in your research proposal, and how to keep it relevant to your field. So stay tuned for our more videos, and share it with the people who really need it, and who are looking for a good explanation, and who are struggling with this thing. So uh, until next video, uh, Allah Hafiz, have a good day.